What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna be talking about some breaking news that we just got. The Los Angeles Lakers are trading for Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz for two unprotected first round picks in 2031 and 2033. Not only that, they're also giving up first round pick swaps in 2028 and 2030, and they're signing Walker Kessler to a 4 year, $130 million contract. After that came in, the Lakers also signed Sandro Mamu. I'm not even gonna try to say the second part of his last name. We're gonna get to it one day, but today's not that day. 4 year, $52 million deal. And last but not the least, they also signed Quentin Grimes, 4 years, 60. And not last but not least, I'm sorry, we got one more. We got Colin Sexton for 2 years, $18.5 million. Lakers getting four players. Let's talk about Walker Kessler first. I believe he was the priority for me on the Lakers list this offseason. When the offseason started, I always believed that the Lakers either need to get a wing that can start on the team with Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, can play both ends on the floor for the next like 3 to 4 seasons, maybe. A young guy, aka Peyton Watson type, like that kind of a guy. A lower level OG Ananobi, if you will, that our version of OG Ananobi. Obviously, OG is like too good right now. You're not gonna get him, but or get a flagship sort of center, a Jalen Duran, a Walker Kessler, maybe someone else that we didn't think about. Getting a trade for them. But the problem was all three of these guys are restricted free agents. It's really and I think this is the first time in 6 years a restricted free agent has moved teams. So it's like really damn hard for a restricted free agent to get moved. And the deal showed it. The Lakers had to pay a hefty price, two first round picks. The late That's the furthest they can go up to 2031 and 2033, and giving up two swaps, and everything's unprotected. There's no protection on anything, and you couldn't shed salary. You couldn't have given up a Vanderbilt, a Dalton Knet, a Aiton, who actually might have a role. He might become one of the better backup centers in the league. Um, so I think just from that fact that the Lakers did get a core piece for the next 3 to 4 years who can play alongside Luka, who fits amazingly next to Luka and Reeves, provides the rim protection that a Luka led team needs. Um, Lob threat, amazing, blue collar, hardworking, player Walker Kessler is. Um, he can even shoot a little bit. Although last year he only played, 5 games before, having a shoulder problem and then, sitting out the entire year. But he was shooting some threes. So it's not a big, sample size. But if he keeps working on it, maybe there's more potential there. Um, Offensively, he can dunk the ball, obviously, good size, pretty good hands. Um, as I said, runs the floor pretty good. Defensively, great rim protector. Um, Not the best switching on the guards or the wings, I guess, but not a lot of bigs are at that size. He's 7 feet tall. Other than like Anthony Davis and like Wemby, I don't think anyone comes to my mind who's like good at perimeter defense. Um, I think the ceiling is really amazing for Walker Kessler with the Lakers. He's playing with Luka, who's the best player he's ever played with. And in my opinion, he's the best defensive center that Luka's ever had. So Luka's always gonna have protection behind him on the defensive end. Um, he is a pure shot blocker. I believe if the Lakers and I also believe that personally, but if Walker Kessler is who the Lakers think he is, he could be a top three defensive center in the league, a top three shot blocker in the league behind the Wemby, maybe a Gobert. I think he's that level of a defensive center. So I don't have a big problem giving up what you gave up for him, because like I've had this problem for the last like 5 years with the Lakers. After they won the championship, I feel like they kept throwing the can down. They were not going for it at all. You know, you have LeBron James, you have AD on your team. I understand AD's injury prone. I understand LeBron's getting older, but like they just gave you a championship, man. And I know the Russ trade was bad, but like before that, after that, you never like pushed all the chips in. You know, as I said in the last video, you know, letting Alex Caruso walk, the THT stuff, um, like even now letting Luke Kennard walk, letting Marcus Smart walk, Rui's essentially gone, letting LeBron walk, all that, like the managing of assets has been very, very poor from the Lakers. Um, so just for getting Walker Kessler and having a core piece, I do not mind the trade at all. 4 years, 130. Is it 130? Yes, 130 million. I don't mind that all at all. 32.5 annual. Ideally, I would have wanted the Lakers to do either or. Either pay like 40 million and you know as a free agent, you know, and get him on the contract sheet on the contract offer, or like trade for him but like lower assets or lower draft picks, less draft picks. But they did what I was like scared of. You know, they gave up both. But I'm not too mad at the contract they gave them. You know, I can't complain. 4 years, 130, not bad. You get a starting level center, a good center with a hype. He's about to be 25 when the season starts. He's gonna be playing for a winning team for the first time in his career. So we'll see how that goes. He'll be playing with the best player he's ever had. You know, Luka. Um, Sources have always said that like he did want to come to the Lakers, as we saw in the TMZ video the other day. You know, he was pretty happy being in LA, and you know he was optimistic about getting a contract offer from the Lakers. Uh, but essentially now Lakers are all in. They gave up everything that was tradable that they had. They gave up two first round picks unprotected. They gave up two swaps. Now they only have one swap left, and they have a second round pick left in 2033. They still have so 2026 just happened. 27, they're not gonna have their pick. It's 1 through 4 protected going to the Jazz from the Russell Westbrook dump trade. Getting D'Lo, Vando, and Malik Beasley in them. I don't know if Mo Bamba was in that trade too, but that trade they gave up a 2027 top four protected pick. So as long as Luka stays healthy, you're not going to be a bottom four team or a top four, you know, in the draft team. So that pick is essentially gone. 2028. Um, let me make sure. Uh, yeah. So the Lakers they gave up the exact picks that they gave up were 2031 and 2033 unprotected, and 2028 and 2030 swaps. So 2028, they're gonna have a pick. We just don't know which one it would be. So basically, just for you guys who don't know, a swap is only useful if the Jazz have, let's suppose, the 20th pick and the Lakers have the 10th pick. If the Lakers have the better pick, only that's when the Jazz, you know, would swap. Because why would they swap if they have the better pick? You know what I mean? So it's only helpful for the Jazz if they have the worst pick and the Lakers have the better pick. So we'll see. They're betting that by 2033 and 2031, the unprotected picks, either Luca's, you know, gone or he's like older. You know what? He's not gonna be older. What is 5 years from now? He's gonna be like what 31. So they're hoping that either he's gone or you know some injury happens or you know something like that. Um, which is not a bad bet because I wouldn't trust the Lakers with Rob Pelinka. The way he's, we'll get into other moves that the Lakers made, but anything can happen. 5 years is like an eternity in the NBA. So I think it's a really good trade for the Jazz. They offered a Walker Kessler about $28 million annual value is what was reported previously. Uh, and he declined that one. So Lakers gave him 32 a year annual. But coming back to the Lakers side, at least they got one like part of the puzzle solved now. You have your center. You obviously have Luka. You have Reaves. Now, what do you need? You need wings. You need defense. You need a point of attack defender. You need as many wings as possible, but so does everyone else. Everyone's trying to get the 6'8", 6'9" strong wings. You know what I mean? As we talk about that, Kelly Oubre just signed a contract with the Pacers. He would have been a good fit. Tobias Harris would have been a good fit. Um, but so Lakers solved their center problem for the future. If I had to grade this for the Jazz, I'm going an A minus because Walker Kessler didn't want to be there, and they didn't want to give him that money, or like also they got good assets, they got two unprotected picks in the future in 21 in 2031 and 2033. As I said before, it's an eternity. Like no one knows what's gonna happen in 5 years and like 8 years. What is my math is bad? 7 years. 7 years down the line, you just traded a pick. You got a pick as the Jazz. So like, if I'm like Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge, I'm ecstatic. I got paid handsomely for like letting Walker Kessler go. Um, and for Lakers, I'll say like a C plus B minus. You solve an issue, yes. He is injury prone. We haven't mentioned that yet. He's very injury prone. He only averages like 50 games a year, and last year he was injured and he only played 5 games. So if it doesn't work out, this has a potential of making Luka mad. He could be a free agent in 2 summers from now, guys. Do not remember this video. He could be a free agent. He could leave the Lakers in 2 years from now, and you don't get anything back for him. So Lakers have to be really, 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 really careful from now on. They solve their center roles. Get an A tier caliber guy for Luka. Plays defense, catches, loves everything. So they do one good thing, and then they get Quinn Grimes, who I don't have a problem with Quinn Grimes, a player. I think he's a good player. Contract 15 million for it's a little rich for my blood. I think he's more of like a 10 to 11 million around there caliber of a guy. And you give him 4 years. I do not like that contract personally. And then on top of that, you give him a player option. Rob, a player option is not a gift card that you give everybody like on their birthday, bro. You don't have to give a player option to everybody. If you go to the Lakers cap sheet, you're gonna see all greens because that's like if it's a player option, it's like green, on cap sheets. Everything is a player option, bro. Like, why are you so player friendly? I understand you were a player's agent before, but now you work for the Lakers. So you give him $15 million. I wish it was $15. $15 million for 4 years. I would have been more happy if it was 3 years, 40. I would have been reasonably happy. What was the point of doing 4 years and player option? I don't know. I don't have a problem with Quinn Grimes. I think he's a very good player. I even think he fits well with the Lakers. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can pass, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not a bad defender either. Played for the Knicks before. He's played with Luka before with the Mavericks. So I don't have any problems with him. Just the contract could have been better. The years, the length, the terms could have been better. Um, and then Sandro Mamu, I don't mind him as a player either. I think he's a good player off the bench. He's a forward slash small ball center. He he's okay defender. League average defender, solid shooter. Is that your Rui Hachimura replacement? So you're telling me that Sandro is gonna start for you? If that's Rob your plan, I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it anymore. Sandro is your starter. 4 years, 52 again. 4 year contract. I don't have a problem with 13 million. That's fine. 4 years, another player option, bro. Can we please stop, Mark Walter? You're the owner now. Can you please hire a better GM? This man, Rob Pelinka, had LeBron James and Anthony Davis and didn't do anything in the last like 5 years. He would not trade his first round picks. Last couple years, I get it. LeBron was getting older. AD was injury prone. Yes, I get it. And now you go all in with Walker Kessler, and then you don't get a wing. You don't bring Rui back. Marcus Smart is signing for 6.5 million. Luke Kennard is signing for 6.5. So basically, Sandro just essentially got the deal that Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard got combined. Can you believe that? I can't, man. Player option and the length of the contract is a problem. And then Colin Sexton, another combo guard. Like, we don't need a combo guard, bro. This you've been doing this. Nick Smith, Bronny, uh, so many like, um, why do you need a combo guard when you already have Luka? You already have AR-15. You just signed Quentin Grimes. 3 guards is enough. You give okay if it's for a minimum, sure, but you're giving him $9 million a year, Colin Sexton. I don't mind him as a player. I think he's a good player for what the Lakers are gonna ask him to do. You're gonna ask him to lead the bench unit. I think he's a really good player for that. But is he the right fit for the Lakers? I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong and the Lakers prove me wrong. I hope they win the championship, man. But I'm just being honest. I'm giving you my honest thoughts, what I think. Player option, another player option for Colin Sexton because why not? Every at this point, I'll be more surprised if a player does not get a player option for the Lakers from the Lakers. Rob got me sweating, man. God, we'll see what they do from here on. Now they still have 2 roster spots left. They usually just do 14 spots and then go into the season with 1 spot remaining. So hopefully it's a wing, but because who's gonna start at the 3 and the 4? Adul Thiero? Is Quentin Grimes starting at 6? He's what, 6'4"? Um, he's not your starting 3, is he? Who else? Cam Carr is not about to start as a rookie, is he? Vanderbilt is not starting. So who's your 3 and 4? Sandra is gonna start? I do not believe that. So we'll see what they do. There's still a couple. Tobias Harris would be a great fit if you like wave and stretch Jerry Vanderbilt. You get like $7 to $8 million. Um, so I wouldn't hate that if you promise Tobias Harris like a starting job on the Lakers next to Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, Walker Kessler. Maybe there's a chance. But Lakers, like the 1980s, they were called Showtime. Now it's Snow Time with JJ Redick. One of the lineups got to be uh Luka Reaves Kessler, uh Luka Reeves Kessler, Jake Laravia, Dalton Connect. Just for 1 second. I need to see that. That would be so much fun, all the snow pieces together. So we'll see what they do. We have more moves that were made today. Um, as I said previously, Kelly Oubre signed a 2-year, $17 million deal with the with the Pacers. He moved from 76ers. I think that's a good pickup, a good wing piece. Wings are never enough. If you go in the playoffs against the Celtics, if they kept Jalen Brown, you're going up against JT and JB, a good solid defender to have. Go up against the Cavs, could guard Donovan and James Harden. Uno. So good pickup. The Anthony Melton's 2-year, $11 million to return to the Warriors. They love him. I think he fits good. He can play on the ball, off the ball next to Steph Curry. I think he's a good pickup. We'll see what the Warriors do. Do they trade for AD? Do they sign LeBron? A lot of teams are interested in LeBron, so we'll see what happens there. Apparently, LeBron's also interested in signing a minimum. I don't understand why 29 teams are not interested in that. But that's just me. I think he could still be a really, really good pickup for some team who's like in the contender, spot. Um, Seeing if any Mitchell Robinson signed 3-year, $47.4 million deal to go to the Celtics, and that happened right before the Walker Kessler trade broke. It's been said that Mitchell Robinson was the backup plan for the Lakers. If they didn't get a Walker Kessler or a Jalen Duren, they were gonna get Mitchell Robinson. So when he heard that the Lakers are getting Walker Kessler, he signed with the Celtics. I think that's a really good pickup with Nemesis Keita being there. He played really good last year. Um, they get a big physical center. He can come off the bench. He can even start a few games. I think that's a good pickup. Player option for Mitchell Robinson for last year, coming off a championship. He deserved his bag, and I'm happy for him. Um, Let me see if there's any other notable. Mike Conley went to the Celtics. Interesting. Vucevic back to the Magic. Good pickup for them for only what 3.9 million. Vucevic, don't get me wrong, like he's old now, but like I think that's still a really good pickup. He's a good value, for 3.9 million. Um, Norman Powell got a 2-year, $45 million deal to go to the Bulls. The second year is a team option. Basically, he got the same deal that Bruce Brown got in 2020. I want to say three off season when the Lakers were close to getting him, and the Pacers stole him, and then traded him to the Raptors for Pascal Siakam. Um, John Collins signed a 3-year, $51 million deal with the Pistons, but the last 2 years are team options and non-guaranteed. So if every team is like the Spurs, the Thunder, like all, if you go to their contracts, there's a lot of team options and team control. The Porzingis deal we saw with the Warriors, that one's a partially guaranteed. Why can't the Lakers do that, man? Why is everything got to be a player option? That's why you're in trouble. DA picked it up. Marcus left you for nothing. Vanderbilt's gonna pick it up next year. You gave it to Austin Reeves. So far, the contracts you've signed, Austin Reeves has a player option. Kessler has a player option. I don't mind those two, I guess. Colin Sexton, you give him a player option. You give Mamu a player option. You give Quinn Grimes a player option. I bet you all of these are getting picked up. If you can tell that these player options are gonna get picked up at the start, at the beginning of the deal, that's a bad sign, guys. Um, Bogdan Bogdanovic went to the Rockets for a minimum. Dean Wade got a 39 4-year 39. That's a really good pickup for the Sixers. Versatile forward who can defend under $10 million a year. I think that's a really good, valuable pickup. Valuable, really good deal. Luke Kennard went to the Suns. I think that's a really good pickup for the Suns. Their Grayson Allen replacement. Um, he's not. I think Grayson Allen's a better defender. But Luke Kennard, can shoot the ball, sharpshooter. Percentage wise, the best shooter in the league last year. Um, yeah, so there we have it. That's all the news and the and the signings we had so far today. If there's anything else, uh, you damn sure I'm gonna record another video, guys. Um, keep supporting, guys. You know, um, just starting it, man. The channel, start for new journey, man. Looking forward and excited for everything that you guys have. Um, excited for every single day, man. Anything can happen. I'm gonna keep checking my phone if anything big happens. But with that being said, leave a like, subscribe, um, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. If something big happens, I'll record. Don't worry. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace out.